Yo! What's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and we are Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. We are 3 sleeps away, hopefully, from the New York Giants getting their first win of the 2024 NFL season, as they will travel to take on the Cleveland Browns in a game that I think they can win, but they are going to have to play their A game. We've already put out our preview video this week. I've already shared my keys to victory, but there are still some things that we need to talk about here on today's show. There's some drama surrounding Jalin Hyatt. Rumors out there. Is he going to request a trade? Is he in the doghouse with Brian Daboll? Why has he played less than 30 snaps through 2 weeks? We're going to try to get an answer for that. And also, we got a segment coming up on today's show about John Mara needing to make the right decision on a certain subject. We'll talk about that around the corner. But first, we already got 135 people in the building. I need 135 people to give me a real one roll call down in the comments section. If you're a real one and you love the New York Football Giants, type real one down below. I'm giving shout-outs to everybody that does. Corinne says, what about Simmons? I don't know what's going on with Isaiah Simmons. He's missed the last 2 practices due to a personal matter. Brian Daboll said he's going to play this Sunday, so not too concerned about Simmons and his lack of participation at Giants practice this week, but it's definitely something to note, and shout out to Corinne for doing so. My dogs, Journey, Greg, Gerard, Scrooty, Joe G, Sean Cleveland, Chan, King Cal, Nope, Roof, Joseph, Mike D, Morgan Garrett, M. Dot, us, the Gamer Boy, Kevin Harwood, Joel, All Good. What's up, All Good? That's my guy. Burke in the building, Edward, Patrick, Rosenberg. What's up, Rosenberg in Alaska? That's my brother right there. Mr. Cha, what's going on, Mr. Rick? Good to see you. Hope Thursday's going all right for you. Picho, what up, Picho? Denzel, Stefan, what up? JG says, sit Slayton, get Hyatt in there. Let's see the future. Season's in the dog pound anyway. Let's see Jalin Hyatt. I don't really disagree with you, but we'll talk about that in a second. The Main Card Podcast, Jared in the building says, big old wieners. That's crazy. Zach Ortiz, Malik, Manzi. Braden says, we lost to Washington. How do 80% believe we'll beat the Browns? Because we're being positive. We're being positive, man. Joey DeLuca. Alex, nope, says DJ 5 TDs and 2 rushing TDs. Book it. Absolutely, man. Joey DeLuca, Isaac Sanchez, Nelly Nell, and Fabian Gonzalez. Shout out to everybody in the building. We got producer Smitty hanging out with us. Smitty, we got to go get a fucking W this week, man.
Gotta get a W. You know what they say, Marshall, about going 15-2?
You got to lose 2 games.
You got to lose 2 first. You got to lose 2 before you go 15-2. And that's what the Giants are going to do this season. We're running the table, baby. But we got to start with 1.
No one likes showing up to the party on time anyways.
Yeah.
No one cool shows up to the party on time.
The cool kids show up a little fashionably late, and we're calling the Giants the cool kids.
The Giants are the cool kids of the NFL season this year. They're so cool, Smitty, they didn't even want to score a touchdown week 1.
Yeah, they thought that was, they're trying to go against the grain. They're not trying to go with the status quo of everybody else.
Oh, lordy. That is hilarious. Casually late, Corinne. That's exactly what the New York Giants are this year. We got 225 people watching. If you could, hit that thumbs up icon. If you just want us to dive into the content today, we'll do so once we get to 150 likes. 220 watching. We should be at 220 likes. I would like everyone to take 5 seconds to hit the thumbs up icon. Let's do it all right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Click.
It's that easy. If everyone would just like the video, this would be the #1 channel on YouTube every single day. That's all I ask. All I ask is everyone to just like the video. If you're on your phone, if you're in the live chat, just back out of the live chat, smash that thumbs up icon, and then you're there. It's free, baby. It's free $99.
Free $99. Who doesn't like free? And, it's the common courtesy. It's the courteous thing to do when you enter the stream. Helps us get the stream out to as many Giants fans, as many football fans as possible. We want to have a good time today.
Shout out to everybody in the building. Cobra Kai Karate says, yo, Marsh, would you be okay with Daboll being our OC and not head coach? Because I don't think our OC is all that. Well, Brian Daboll is our offensive coordinator. He's the one calling the plays. He's the one running the meetings. Yes, the job title is Mike Kafka's when it comes to offensive coordinator, but Brian Daboll has taken over as the play caller. Brian Daboll has taken over as the guy running the meetings. So I don't want to give anyone a pass or any credit for what that job title holds. But what I will say is we just started. We'll be done by 5:45.
No worries. No worries.
I don't even remember what I was saying, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was saying.
All I gotta know is, were we talking about John Mara and the Daboll stuff? Double Shane Beast?
Oh, look, Brian Daboll is not going to step down from being a head coach to the offensive coordinator. That's just not going to happen. So to anybody that wants Brian Daboll to stay on this staff and go from head coach to offensive coordinator, it's not going to happen. That doesn't happen in professional sports. They're going to fire him or he's going to quit and he'll no longer be a part of this team. He's not going to take a demoted role to the offensive coordinator position. My guy, all good. What's up, man? He says, I'm sorry, but Slayton time is up and Hyatt needs his shine, point blank. I'm not feeling this. Our team is right now. And what's up with this? Fans want a Bryce Young trade.
I got that.
Whatever. Yeah, look, we're going to talk about Slayton. We're going to talk about Hyatt. Look, I got some thoughts on that, but I don't disagree with you, man. This year, I think that the focus should be more on the development of players and seeing who you have on this team. Look, Darius Slayton's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Darius Slayton wanted a new contract this offseason. The Giants gave him some more guaranteed money. 2 years ago, the Giants asked Darius Slayton to take a pay cut. And I think that if Daniel Jones is off this team at the end of the year, I don't see Darius Slayton returning because that is his buddy. That's his pal. Cha says, I sent Smitty a gift I got from MetLife opening day in the U.S. mail. He says a medium Pepsi.
Hey, I appreciate that, Mr. Rick. You're goated.
Shout out to Mr. Rick. Shout out to everybody in the building. If everyone can hit that thumbs up icon, we're going to start today's show. We're talking about the Jalin Hyatt drama. We're talking about what John Mara must get right if the Giants want to be a good, respected franchise. Again, we got 300 people in the building. Only 107 likes. Would appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hit that thumbs up icon. Let's dive into it. Ready to get today's show started. 300 people here live in the building. Let's go. Luke Sargent, what up, man? All righty. Let's go. What's going on with Jalin Hyatt? Let's try to talk. Let's try to figure it out. Let's talk through it. What's going on with Jalin Hyatt? Is he in Brian Daboll's doghouse? Does he want to be traded from the New York Football Giants? There's a lot of rumors surrounding the second-year explosive wide receiver and a lot of reasons as to why he has not been playing, and a lot of thoughts out there. But on today's show, I'm going to tell you why the Giants have mismanaged the draft pick and the development of Jalin Hyatt, and they have an opportunity to fix it, and they must do it. So far through 2 weeks, Jalin Hyatt has not been a part of the game plan for the New York Giants. Playing just 15 snaps in week 1. He did have a drop over the middle. The game was already out of reach at that point, and most of his snaps, they came in garbage time. In week 2, he played just 12 snaps. So 27 snaps for Jalin Hyatt through 2 weeks of the 2024 NFL season. All off season long. Brian Daboll told me, Brian Daboll told you, Daniel Jones told us, and everyone told us, our focus is on being a more explosive football team. How are you going to achieve that if your most explosive receiver outside of Malik Neighbors, guess you could argue Slayton and Hyatt are on that same page, is not playing football? I don't get it. Is Brian Daboll holding Jalin Hyatt in the doghouse? Did something happen in practice, in training camp, in the locker room, in film study? What is going on? Because the excuses and the reasons that Brian Daboll is giving, they just aren't clicking in my head. Nobody expected for the Giants to make the playoffs this year. There's a reason their win-loss total was 6.5. No one expected for the Giants to make a playoff push. This year was about development and looking within and trying to find out if there's any pieces on this team that will be here for the long term. And so far, you haven't even given a chance for Jalin Hyatt to prove to me, to prove to you, to prove to this organization, and prove to himself that he is a guy that could be a part of this team and contribute going forward. Daboll has been asked a couple of different times throughout the first couple of weeks as to why Jalin Hyatt is not playing, talking about he's the third or fourth receiver on this team and so on and so forth. But the quote that he gave after week 2, I didn't really understand it all that much. That's what Daboll said. I think he got 13 or 14 plays. Again, that's not because of Jalin Hyatt. Slay's doing a nice job with his opportunities of doing the things that he needs to do. And then we sprinkle in Hyatt in particular plays. And then Malik Neighbors, he's been on the field most of the time, and we've mixed in 12, we've mixed in 11 personnel, not as much 10 personnel. But he'll be ready to go when his number is called. I think we need to get stuff out of everybody. But again, the two receivers that do start are Darius Slayton and Malik Neighbors. He's Hyatt, the third guy in, per se, when we go 2 receiver sets, and he's the fourth guy in 3 receiver sets. That was, what? Look, I get it. I understand it. But, like, the Giants are probably the only team in the NFL that don't have 4 wide receivers that play. And you can't tell me that you want to be an explosive offense and that Darius Slayton is doing his job well. Darius Slayton is known as a vertical threat. Darius Slayton is known as a guy that takes the top off the defense. He's averaging less than 10 yards per catch. You have nobody on this team right now that plays wide receiver outside of Malik Neighbors that has been able to stretch the field. And maybe that's more so because of Daniel Jones and his lack of trust in himself to manipulate the pocket, reset the pocket, and fire downfield. But if Darius Slayton's out there just for 6 receptions on over 80 snaps at the wide receiver position, why can't we split up that rep share and get Jalin Hyatt, the guy you just traded up for, to see if he can get better? Because that's what this year is about. This year is about development. This year is about finding out if your draft class from 2021, your draft class from 2022, 2023, and 2024 are any players. You just traded up to get Jalin Hyatt. You gave up multiple picks and multiple assets to go out and get him. This is a mismanagement by Brian Daboll and the staff. It really, really is. Look, I understand that Darius Slayton is a better wide receiver at this current moment than Jalin Hyatt. But Darius Slayton is what he is. He's not going to get any better. He is a guy that can take the top off the defense, drops the occasional ball, not strong at the catch point, doesn't excel in contested catches, and unless he's got a lot of green grass to run after the catch, he's not very explosive in that regard. You traded up to draft Hyatt. Remember when Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, after they drafted Hyatt, scared money don't make money. They're jumping up in the war room, hugging each other. Joe Schoen's rubbing Brian Daboll's bald head. Everyone's jumping around. It looked like a peewee football team. That was a joke what that looked like. And now you don't even play the guy. After last year, he won you the game in week 2 against the Arizona Cardinals. He brought you back in that second half. He opened up the offense with a deep post that was underthrown by Daniel Jones. It should have been a touchdown. And then on the deep corner route on the left side, he went up and snatched it off the top of the DB's head, and he got you in scoring position. How can you say you want to be an explosive offense when you don't play the receiver that averaged 16.2 yards per catch? The guy that had an average depth of target of more than 20 yards. A guy that had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 catches of more than 20 yards last season. Jalin Hyatt is the most explosive returning wide receiver. And he was working with the ones all summer. Like, if you're going to have this guy working with the ones all summer, and you want to tell me we want to be explosive, we want to take shots downfield, we want to open up the offense, and then you don't play the guy that does that, and you're consistently operating in 12 personnel, what the hell was the point of all the reps we worked on in training camp? Mike Groh, the Giants wide receiver coach, he's sung the praises of Jalin Hyatt all offseason long. All of the work that he put in, investing in his game, learning what, how, and why. He's just a different guy. He's gotten stronger, but he's playing less than he did in his rookie year. What about Brian Daboll? He told me, you, and Dupree that he wants to operate an explosive offense, that he's looking to create mismatches as a play caller in the Giants' hunt for more explosive plays. So you know what he's doing? He's putting Chris Manhertz out there. Chris Manhertz is a third tackle. He doesn't run routes. He's a tight end in his career that's had more pass blocking snaps than catches. He is an extension of the offensive line. What about Daniel Jones? He said, we're trying to improve and create explosive plays and get the ball downfield. You're not doing it. You're not throwing the ball downfield. And you're never, ever, 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 ever going to be an explosive offense that generates explosive pass plays, that creates chunk plays. If Christopher Manhertz has 20 more offensive snaps through 2 weeks than Jalin Hyatt, how on earth are you telling me you want to operate an explosive offense and you come back with 2 tight end sets and one of those tight ends is a smaller tackle? This is no disrespect to Chris Manhertz. He's a great blocking tight end, but it's 2024 and it's the 6th year of Daniel Jones. Take the handcuffs off the offense. Your offensive line is improved. You don't need a second tight end to stay in on pass blocking situations anymore. Open it up. Go 4 receiver sets. Shit, go 5 wide. Do what you got to do to see if Jalin Hyatt is the guy or not. Or once again, you're going to take your draft assets and pour them in the toilet and flush them. Sometimes in life and in football, you have to invest in your investments. And you're not investing in this guy that you gave up multiple draft picks to move up in the 3rd round to select. I don't get it. I really don't get it. If you want Jalin Hyatt to play more, type some 13s in the chat. Type some 13s in the chat if you want Jalin Hyatt to play more football. This guy won you a football game last year. You didn't win many of them. He helped you come back from 20 points down against the Cardinals. And right now, you are one of the least explosive offenses for the 45th year running. Just get him in the game. Because if he's in the game, you know what happens? Safety slides here, safety slides here. Neighbors has one-on-one coverage. And if you leave Hyatt one-on-one with no safety, he's taking the top off. Because if he's even, he is leaving. The worst part about this is there are now trade rumors surrounding Jalin Hyatt, and maybe he wants to be traded. We'll talk about that in a second, but first, I got to give a major shout-out to today's sponsor, Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, and get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. You get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. You get to see your seat view, and you get to access your tickets from your phone, and it is easy to resell your tickets. I'm a huge fan of Game Time. It's the only app I use to buy tickets anymore. It's more than just Giants games. You can go to NBA games. You can go to MLB games. You can go to concerts. You can go to theater events, comedy clubs, comedy shows, and so much more. Make sure you take advantage of these 2 features. The all-in pricing. That way you don't get hit with hidden fees when you get to checkout. And the Game Time Picks feature, which is brand new, which pretty much makes it that much more easy to go see your favorite teams, bands, and people perform. Download the Game Time app. Use the promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. All that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. Does Jalin Hyatt want to be traded? Look, there was some stuff that was going on Twitter yesterday that, to me, kind of showed that there is more to the story of Jalin Hyatt not playing simply than what Brian Daboll told us, which is Darius Slayton's our guy. And he's our 4th wide receiver on 2 receiver sets, and so on and so forth. Bobby Skinner, who is a host for the Talkin' Giants podcast, shout out to Bobby. He does awesome work. And he tweeted this out. And Bobby, in my opinion, is not a guy that's going to go out here and spread fake rumors. He didn't do this just because he thought the picture was cool. He did it for a reason. I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I believe he did this for a reason. It's a picture of Hyatt with a piece of paper that says trade me. And then our guy LPG, license plate guy. If you don't know who he is, he's the most known Giants fan in the world. I think he's been going to games for 30-plus years, every single game, every single season. He responded to Bobby Skinner's post, and he said, like I said, there is more to the story. So you have Bobby Skinner, I would say, kind of hinting that there could be some trade drama around Hyatt. And then you got license plate guy saying, like I said, there's more to the story. I don't know what the story is. I don't know what there is more of. But I know what is going on with Jalin Hyatt is simply unacceptable. Whether it's his fault, whether it's Daboll's fault, whoever's fault is, I don't know. But if I was Jalin Hyatt and I worked with the number one offense all summer long, and you told me that I've improved, and you told me I've done everything that I need to do to play football, and you want to be explosive, and I am Mr. Explosive, go watch the tape against Alabama when I lit him up. Why am I not playing? Like, it's not even that I'm not playing. It's that I'm seeing other wide receivers get every single rep. Like, you cannot tell me that Darius Slayton deserves 99 reps when Jalin Hyatt deserves 27. Maybe that number should be closer to 75, and that number should be closer to 50. There should not be this big of a snap difference in these two guys. You know why? Because Darius Slayton, he doesn't move the needle in the win-loss column that much more when he's on the field than Jalin Hyatt does. And on top of that, Darius Slayton is going to be a free agent this spring. You already asked him to take a pay cut 2 years ago. He then came back on a value contract, and after 1 year of outperforming that contract, he asked for a new deal. You said no. So there's already hostility at the argument and negotiation table between Slayton and between the general manager and the head coach. Do we really think Darius Slayton is going to be on this team next year once he goes to free agency and the Giants cut his buddy, his good old pal, Daniel Jones? It ain't going to happen. And the Giants should think about trading Darius Slayton right now. They should. They absolutely should. He's not coming back. Slayton's already dealt with contract drama. Why on earth would he give the New York Giants any more discounts? One, he's getting older. He probably wants to compete. His best friend's Daniel Jones, and he's not going to be able to play with Jones or probably compete for another 2 years if he comes back and plays with the New York Giants. Look, at the end of the day, if you don't take anything else from this video, take this. Darius Slayton is a better wide receiver than Jalin Hyatt right now. I 100% agree with that. But you cannot tell me that Darius Slayton should have 100 snaps and Jalin Hyatt should have 27. He doesn't move the needle when it comes to winning football games enough to completely eliminate Jalin Hyatt from the game plan and completely stunt the growth of Jalin Hyatt. He doesn't. It should not happen. The season is not about winning games. The season is not about trying to get in the playoffs. Because if it is, then, oh, Lord, we've got bigger problems on our hands. This season is about finding out if the players on your team can be long-term pieces. And Darius Slayton is not a long-term piece of this team. I'm hoping Jalin Hyatt can be. But when you tell him he's going to play all summer, he plays with the ones, he's doing a great job. That's what you told him, head coach and wide receiver coach. Quarterback wants to take more shots, and you don't play the guy that takes the top off the defense better than anybody else. I don't know what the hell we're doing. I just don't get it. Like, we already saw last year, Xavier McKinney left for nothing. You could have traded him. You could have traded Saquon Barkley. He left for nothing. Season was lost at the trade deadline last year. I'm hoping that the New York Giants learned from last year and then get something in return at the trade deadline for Darius Slayton. I'm also looking at Azeez Ojulari as a guy that's going to be a free agent that could be on the trade block. But that'll be a different video for another day. This is the question I want to ask before we bounce on out of here. Should Jalin Hyatt get more snaps? Type Y for yes, type N for no, and make sure you are following me over on social media. I'm tweeting, I'm posting every single day about the Giants, at @MarshallGreen_ on Twitter, at @MarshallGreen_ on Instagram. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue. Look, I'm not saying that Jalin Hyatt should have 99 snaps and Darius Slayton should have 27. But can we get 70 snaps for Darius Slayton and 50 snaps for Jalin Hyatt? I just don't get it. How can you tell me we want to be an explosive offense? We want to take more shots down the field. If Christopher Manhertz, it is the great year of 2024. The Giants' offensive line is good for the first time ever. And we continuously keep in another tight end to block, taking speed off the field, and having Jalin Hyatt sit there, wasting another year of draft picks. You got to invest in your investments at some point. Like, I just don't get it. I really don't. I do not get it. So if someone can educate me in the chat, and if all you're going to say is Darius Slayton is better than Jalin Hyatt, that's not a good enough reason for me. Because, again, I've said that, and I agree with that. But he's not 99 minus 27. He's not 62 snaps. 72. He's not 72 snaps in 2 weeks better than Jalin Hyatt. He's not. You know what's going to suck? They're going to trade Jalin Hyatt, and he's going to go be a stud for a team like the Chiefs. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. We are going to try to do a mailbag on today's show in about 25 minutes or so. So if you could, and you want to be featured on the show, go down to the comment section and use hashtag Giants included in your comment. That way producer Smitty can pop those up on screen. Trevor says, could be another Galladay. Well, Galladay was like 30 when he came here, and Jalin Hyatt's in his second year.
He was also making $18 million a year.
Yeah. What's up, Scott Hernan? What's up, John Nitty? What up, Alex C? What up, William? What up, Greg? What up, Luke? What up, Fabian? What up, Jared? What up, James? What up, Philip? Zach Attack? Dave Hernandez? Shout out to everybody in the building. Over 500 people watching. Shout out to you guys. That's mad love. My man, Let's Go Giants came in with a $2 super chat. Says, fire Brian Daboll and bring in Bill Belichick. This next segment, we're going to talk about why the Giants, not why, but we're going to walk through the decision that John Mara needs to make. And I'm not saying it is fire Brian Daboll. I'm also not saying it should not be fire Brian Daboll. But the decision by Brian Daboll, the decision to decide if you have the right GM and head coach right now is bigger than the decision you are going to make in April when you're picking inside the top 5 and you select a quarterback. And I 100% agree. I 100% believe it. I do. Tyree Davis, what up? Frank getting his question in. Shout out to Frank. Pete Joe says, if you guys are so set on the Giants sucking, they should wait to suck until Arch Manning is ready to enter the draft. Next year's QB class is ass. The only thing I would say to that, Pete, is Arch Manning's going number 1. So are you going to lose every single game on purpose? Because you're not trading up to number 1. The team that's picking 1 is taking Arch Manning. Like, I get it. Manning, Giant, Eli, I get it. But I do think that we should just pump the brakes a little bit on the Arch Manning stuff. And it has nothing to do with Arch. It's a simple fact only one team gets to draft him. And it's going to be the team with the worst record in 2026. How do we know it's going to be the Giants? It could be. It very well could be. But I don't know. It's more likely that the Giants don't draft Arch Manning or even in a spot to draft Arch Manning than they are. So I just don't think we should just be so gun-ho on that. The 2 giant goofballs in the building. Those are my guys.
Brian Combs.
Brian Combs, what up, man? He says, every year I hear next year has a better QB class. Every year. Every year they say that. Every single year. Brian Combs, $5 super chat. Thank you for the love, my man. Says Daniel Jones, Darius Slayton, and a 4th for Young. Who says no? Look, I told you what my trade offer would be for for Bryce Young, and it would be Evan Neal. We send you our bust. You send us your bust. You need a tackle. We need a quarterback. I'm not really willing to go any further than that. I know there's some financial reasons why it doesn't make sense for the New York Giants, but I'm just of the belief the more darts you have to throw at the quarterback head coach position, the better you're probably going to be. Bronx Boy asking if Smitty lost any super chats yet. Here, send one and let's find out. Send one and let's find out, Bronx Boy.
Brother.
Send one and let's find out, Bronx Boy.
I ain't losing shit.
All righty, 530 people watching. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up icon. It's free. It's easy. It supports the show. Let's get to 300 likes. Let's do it. All right. The New York Giants are most likely going to draft a quarterback in the 2025 NFL draft. And the Giants, mainly John Mara, he cannot make this mistake. And it has nothing with the QB that he is going to draft. My question to you before we dive into this, do you trust Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll to make the Giants great again? I'm not talking about next year, I'm talking over the next 10 years. Are those 2 guys the right guys? Type Y for yes, type N for no, and let's dive into it. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate every single person for making us your go-to place on YouTube for today's show. The question that John Mara must answer is not if Brian Daboll is the right coach to help the Giants get to the playoffs. It is not if Joe Schoen can build a roster that can get the Giants to the playoffs. The question that John Mara has to answer is this. Are Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll the guys that A, you trust to draft the right quarterback, and B, the guys to develop the right quarterback? And most importantly, are they the long-term answers? Because this is what I'm trying to say. I don't want the quarterback that the Giants are going to draft in April to be on his second head coach, his second general manager, and his second offensive coordinator in his rookie season. I don't want the Giants to draft a quarterback, and then after the 2025 season, you fire Brian Daboll and you fire Joe Schoen, and then you are on to already the second people in power developing this quarterback. Giants are going to draft a quarterback this year. There's no way they can't. I know everyone's saying, wait for Arch Manning this, wait for Arch Manning that. It's not going to happen. The Giants are going to draft a quarterback this year. And we need to figure out, is Joe Schoen the right guy to draft the quarterback? I already have my doubts. He gave a 4-year, $160 million contract to Daniel Jones. Whether he was pressured by John Mara or not, he was the general manager that signed off on it last. Another question, is Brian Daboll the right guy to develop the quarterback position? Because overall, this is what it comes down to. If you are one bad season away in 2025 from firing Brian Daboll, if you are one bad season in 2025 away from firing Joe Schoen, they should not be allowed to draft the quarterback because that quarterback needs to be raised by a village. And the same village. I want my rookie quarterback going into his second season, going into the second season with the same general manager and the same head coach and the same offensive coordinator. There's a lot of talk that this QB draft class is not all that good. And look, there's still a long way left in the NCAA season to find out if they are. But if I had to say who are my top 5 guys that I'm looking at in this draft class, it's these guys. Carson Beck, Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe, and Jackson Dart. That'll change. This will continue to evolve. But right now, those are the 5 guys I'm looking at. And really the only point of today's show is this. It's a head coach, general manager, and quarterback league. You are only as good as your head coach, your GM, and your quarterback. And you know why the Giants were never any good with Daniel Jones? Is because they never had the right head coach. They never had the right GM. But most importantly, he's just not a good quarterback. Remember what John Mara said? We have done everything to screw this kid up. We have done everything to screw Daniel Jones. Then don't do it again. Make the decision once this season is over. Do you believe he'll draft the right guy? And do you believe he will be the coach to get the most out of that guy? I need my head coach, GM, and quarterback tied at the hip. I need them locked in, moving together. The Giants cannot screw this up. You cannot roll in to the 2025 NFL season with Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll on the hot seat. Because if you just roll through another season, let's say in 2025, the Giants draft their rookie quarterback and they win 4 games. They're 4-13. And you're going to fire them? What is the point of letting them draft your quarterback? John Mara, you need to make sure you have the right GM and the right head coach. Because having that right GM and that right head coach is just as important, if not more, than drafting the right quarterback. It's already hard enough to play quarterback in this league. How many quarterbacks in the last 10 years that are first-round picks have we seen bust? There are plenty of them. Young quarterbacks, they need a lot of support. They need talent around them. They need 5 guys that can block in front. But most importantly, they need a head coach they believe in. They need a head coach that believes in them. And they need an offensive coordinator and a head coach and a general manager to make their job easy as possible. So if you are one season away, if you are a bad 2025 away from firing Daboll and Joe Schoen, just fire them now. Fire them at the end of the season. Get new leadership in. Get new people in charge, making decisions. Guys that you want here for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 years. Because you need your head coach, GM, and quarterback attached at the hip. I actually like somewhat of the Giants supporting roster when it comes to the support system that is going to surround a rookie quarterback. I don't love it. I wish they had more talent at the running back spot. I wish they were deeper at wide receiver. I wish they had an uber talented tight end that they could lean on. But overall, you have an elite left tackle. Andrew Thomas is a top 5 left tackle in football. You got an improved O-line. Jermaine Illuminor is more than serviceable at right tackle. John Michael Schmitz looks to be getting better. Greg Van Roten showed you that he can compete still. Maybe you get a new right guard after this year. We've also seen that John Runyon can show that he can play and be better. You got a wide receiver one in Malik Neighbors. And you got a talented defense with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Bobby Okereke, Deontay Banks, and the rest of the boys over there. Elite left tackle, improved O-line, and a wide receiver one with a talented defense. Think about it like this. When you think of all the rookie quarterbacks in the last 10 years that have failed, why have they failed? It's because they don't have the support of their franchise. It's because they don't have anybody they can lean on. Quarterbacks that were drafted that then entered their second season with a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, or a new GM are almost always going to fail. Look at Baker Mayfield, drafted by the Browns. His head coach was Hugh Jackson. They fired him midway through the season. They made Greg Williams the interim head coach. Then they fired him. And then they hired Freddie Kitchens. So Baker Mayfield, before he even played a snap in his sophomore season, had already gone through 3 head coaches. How is he supposed to be successful? Sam Darnold, when he got drafted, his head coach was Todd Bowles. When he took over in year 2, or when he came back in year 2, the new head coach was Adam Gase. It's not going to work. Bryce Young, he went from Frank Reich to Dave Canales in 2 years. That's why he's benched. Also other reasons. Mitch Trubisky, when he was drafted, his head coach was John Fox. In his second season, his head coach was Matt Nagy. Had to learn another system in year 2. What about Justin Fields? He went from Matt Nagy to Matt Eberflus. He may be no good, but you're also asking your quarterback to work uphill when he's got to learn system number 2. He's got to be on head coach number 2. He's got to be on head coach number 2 and GM number 2. Derek Carr, Blake Bortles, Marcus Mariota, Sam Bradford, Brandon Weeden, Blaine Gabbert, Nick Foles, and Colt McCoy. All of those quarterbacks were on their second head coach, offensive coordinator, or general manager in year 2. None of them were all that good with the team that drafted them. It takes a special individual to overcome dysfunction. It takes an elite, talented quarterback to overcome dysfunction. Trevor Lawrence, he was good enough to overcome it with the dysfunction that he had to have with Urban Meyer and then going to Doug Peterson. Questions still out on him. I believe in Trevor Lawrence, but it's not just written in ink that he's great. I think there's questions still out about Jalen Hurts, but he was good enough to overcome being drafted with Doug Peterson as the head coach and then being transferred to Nick Sirianni. And then Justin Herbert. How many head coaches has he already gone through? But he's good enough to overcome that. If you don't take anything else from today's video, just take this. John Mara has to make sure that he has the right general manager and the right head coach in place before drafting a quarterback. I don't want my rookie quarterback to enter his second season with his second head coach, his second general manager, and his second offensive coordinator. John Mara, if you are going to enter the 2025 season with Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen on the hot seat, just fire him when the 2024 season ends up. Just do it then. Get guys you trust in the building before drafting a quarterback, because I need those 3 guys, my general manager, head coach, and quarterback attached at the hip. I don't want another Daniel Jones situation where it's new head coach, new OC, new head coach, new OC. Give him some support. I want the same general manager, same head coach, and same quarterback for a long, long time. So if they're on the hot seat, fire them and get new people in that you trust to develop and select the right guy. One more time. Do you trust Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll to make the Giants great again? Y for yes and for no. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter, @MarshallGreen_. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue.
Kind of fired me up right there, not going to lie. I mean, that's what has to happen.
If you draft a quarterback this year, Smitty, the Giants are going to be bad in 2025. So
Probably.
if that is if the success of the team of 2025 is going to determine the future of Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, you are ass backwards. You need to have the guys in position when he's a rookie. That way he can grow with those guys and learn the system. The worst thing you could do for a rookie quarterback is have an revolving door at head coach and GM.
The question that John Mara needs to face, like you said, is that are they long-term answers? If you actually believe in Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll, then if you don't fire them. You don't fire them for a long time. You have to let them run their course with a new quarterback, or else that's unfair to them. Honestly, I mean, listen. Say what you will about Daniel Jones. I think the guy stinks, and they might have been dealt a bad hand in a guy who can't push the ball in the field. Maybe that's why Brian Daboll hasn't let the handcuffs off of this offense. But if you draft a new quarterback, I feel like you got to give the guys a chance. And if you do give them that chance, it has to be more than 1 year because what has a rookie quarterback ever went to the Super Bowl? What has a rookie quarterback ever been an elite playoff run? I mean, yeah, C.J. Stroud did it last year. He's a guy who can overcome stuff like that if that was thrown his way, in my opinion. Giants, they have to get it right, but I don't think you can just be hasty and fire Schoen and Daboll after one season with a rookie quarterback.
Look, I'm not even trying to say that Brian Daboll is or is not the right guy. All I'm saying is, if you're going to ride with them, it better be for the next 5 years. Because I don't want a new head coach, and I don't want a new general manager, and a second system for a rookie quarterback during his rookie contract. All the good teams in this league are joined at the hip when it comes to their head coach, GM, and quarterback.
Yep.
Look at all the good ones. You know who all the bad teams are? The ones that have a new quarterback this year, then a new head coach the next year, and a new GM the next year after that. You need continuity. You need trust. You need those guys to be on the same page.
Patrick Mahomes, Brett Veach, Andy Reid, Josh Allen, Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane, Lamar Jackson, Eric DeCosta, John Harbaugh. It's pretty simple to see. It's pretty simple to see who the guys at the top of this league are. And the fact of the matter is, their cores have been together since they've been drafted.
You gotta make sure. It's not that like, I think I said it in 1,000 different ways, so if you don't get it by now, I don't think you're ever gonna get it. But if you're one more bad season away from firing Brian Daboll, just fire him at the end of this year and let a new head coach develop that guy. I don't know. Does it make sense? I don't know. I think it does. Is Landon Collins back to the Giants?
Oh, boy.
So, Landon Collins, you just want to put it up to the camera? So, Landon Collins just posted a picture on Twitter of him in a New York Giants uniform saying the calm before the storm.
Interesting.
The Giants are thin at the linebacker spot. They've had to call up Ty Summers 2 times through 2 games from the practice squad. I don't know. Do y'all want Landon Collins back on the Giants? Type 21s or LC if you do. I don't know. That's Rob asking if I am on Ozempic. No, I'm not on Ozempic, brother.
All natural, baby.
If you're saying I look good, I appreciate it, man. Pete Cho says Eli's first year 6-10, Eli's second year 10-6, Eli's third year 8-8, Eli's fourth year 0-2 to start the season. Everybody won Coughlin, Eli gone. They won the Super Bowl that year. They didn't win 1 Super Bowl, bro. They won 2.
So you got to hold Tiger. You got to hold the line.
You either believe in Brian Daboll as the long-term guy and Joe Schoen as the long-term guy, or you just move on after this year. And what I would say is, Smitty, I don't know if I trust Joe Schoen to get the right guy if he thought it was a good idea to give a 4-year, $160 million contract to Daniel Jones. I don't know. Oh, man. All right, we're going to do a quick mailbag here on today's show. We got to log off in about 20 minutes. So if you want to be featured on today's show, you got to use hashtag Giants in the comments section, or you got to super chat. Super chats will lock in your questions for the show. It makes it that much easier for Smitty. Razor Shockwave says Mike G is right, bro. Mike G is always right. That man never lied. Never lied. PSN LLC coming in with $1 super chat. What up, PSN? Do y'all understand what I'm saying about the head coach and GM? I don't get to really look at the comments while I'm ranting like that. So I don't know if you guys are like, this guy's up here just yapping or what, but does what I'm saying make any sort of sense? That's kind of just where I'm at on that. A purple mustache. Shout out to PSN.
Mike G.
Mike G says, Marsh, you're a stud per usual. Just a handsome guy who should be QB1. The way my shoulder is working right now, brother, I shouldn't be that guy. I shouldn't be that guy. When my shoulder was right, I probably still wasn't that guy. Razor Shockwave, what up, homie? Marsh, can we get a weekly college QB watch? I vote Jackson Dart. His jersey would be tough. And he's been doing a great job at leading QBs. Yeah. Do y'all want us to start doing mock drafts? Is that what you're asking for?
Oh, boy.
Do we want to do a mock draft next week? Let me know. Silver Strike 4 says Hyatt potential is being wasted. 1,000% with you. 1,000% with you. Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Says, dude, tweaking with that Belichick nonsense.
Ooh,
this team needs a serious overhaul from top down, point blank. Some of us, these so-called giants, really need to lay off the, I don't know what you mean by glass pipe, but real talk.
Never
real
heard
talk.
that,
Never heard of it. Never. Luke, you don't understand what, or maybe you're saying no for the mock drafts. I just asked you both 2 questions. 80K Sweats. What's up, family? Can't release my source. Hyatt wanted out last season, and Daniel Jones and him not getting reps target is to blame.
Damn.
I believe it. Look, I don't think Bobby would tweet that just because he thought the photo was funny, and I don't think license plate guy, who is probably the most connected fan to the New York Giants, saying there is more to the story if there wasn't more to the story.
There's definitely more to the story.
I don't know if he's in the doghouse. Maybe you're right. Daniel Jones and Hyatt don't like each other. Well, like Smitty, if you're an explosive wide receiver and you play with a quarterback that wants to be a check down Charlie, I'd be fucking pissed
Yeah,
too.
I wouldn't like the guy either.
Yeah.
Yep.
80K, man. I'm not pushing back on that at all. I wouldn't be shocked. Giants, that Hartenstein video crushed me. Oh, it hurts so bad. Oh, it hurts so bad, Johnson, you.
Eat that L, Johnson, you.
Man. Scott Hernan. Yeah, buddy. Shout out to my daughter, Audrey Hernan. Audrey. I hope you have a good Thursday. You got a great dad. Give him a hug today. Maybe a kiss on the cheek. Let's go. Grim. What's up, Grim? What's up, Marsh? Which QB would you draft next season? My big 3 right now? Quinn Ewers, Cam Ward, and Jalen Milroe.
Oh.
That's my big 3 right now. PSN, LLC. It's not a business, man. He's a business, man. Marshall is the man looking great. Shout to PNC. You're too kind, brother. You are too kind.
All right.
I'm dead. Someone asked if I was on Ozempic. That was disrespectful.
Oh, I didn't see this before. This is electric.
The Bronx boy. I love Smitty.
Hey.
Shout out to the Bronx boy.
My guy.
Bronx boy. I didn't know you had a twin, bro. I'm freaking dead.
All right.
Razor Shockwave, $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. Says, I don't think we should get rid of Daboll. And for people who want Bill B, remember he's old and he's drafted Mac Jones, so we shouldn't trust him either.
Mac Jones should have worked, like for the Patriots.
And he also got Mac Jones to the playoffs.
And he also got Mac Jones to make a Pro Bowl.
Yeah. I get it, but I also don't understand why we wouldn't want Bill Belichick as the head coach. Like, I get it, but I don't understand it. Bill Belichick, to me, doesn't lose that game to the Commanders.
No way. He does not.
Bill Belichick doesn't mismanage the game day 48. I don't know.
All right.
William Lano. What's up, William Lano? That's my guy. He says Landon Collins coming back.
We'll find out.
We're going to find out. License plate guy just quote tweeted and said showing his support for Big Blue.
Okay. Perhaps.
Can someone ask a question about Landon Collins and include hashtag Giants and get it in the chat?
Please do. That'd be awesome.
So that could be our second question on the mailbag today. Someone, hashtag Giants. Marsh, did you see Landon Collins' posts? How about that?
I don't see. Let me throw Brandon Collins in there.
Smitty, don't you have a Landon? Do you have Collins jersey, or were you at the game when he had the pick six?
I was at the game when he had the pick six, but funny enough, growing up, I had the same number jersey. Shout out to Kenny Phillips.
Ooh, my 21 was Tiki Barber.
Ooh, that's electric.
I'm just gonna throw a photo in there.
Cool.
What's this be?
Nice. Thank you, Rosembre Nolasco. We got you.
I can never tell which one looks best, so I just put it in all three. Okay. It's at the bottom, just whichever one's biggest. Pause. Tripod, yeah. LC second. Yeah. All righty. Let's do it. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and we got some news and rumors to talk about here on today's show. We're going to talk about Landon Collins and his cryptic social media post. Is he coming back to the New York Football Giants? I don't know, but he kind of hinted at it. And we're also just going to take questions from subscribers on today's video. So if you didn't get your question on the show, that means you're not subscribed. Change it. Hit that big red sub button right now. And turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing. Dave Hernandez says, did you see Landon Collins' posts? Is he coming back? So Landon Collins went to Instagram, posted a picture of him wearing the blue 2-1 jersey with his Giants trademarked headband and says, the calm before the storm. Producer Smitty getting in on the show. Shout out to him. And then my guy LPG, he's tapped in. He knows what he's talking about. And he says, showing his support for Big Blue. So I'm not sure if Landon Collins is saying, I'm coming back to play for the Giants. I'm not sure if Landon Collins is just showing his Giants pride. Once a Giant, always a Giant. Unfortunately, not only the Giant because he left us to go play with the Commanders. But what I will say is, damn, that 21 looks good in Giants blue. And I wouldn't mind having Landon Collins back on this team. He's not a safety at this point. He's an inside linebacker. And the way that the Giants linebacker room is stacking up right now, it's pretty dang thin. You got Bobby Okereke, you got Micah McFadden, and you got Darius Musa. You got three linebackers that play that inside linebacker spot on the active roster. And then you got Curtis Bolton and Ty Summers on the practice squad. I don't think going out and signing Landon Collins is all that bad of an idea. I think it'd be kind of cool. It actually give me some hope and some fun stuff to look forward to this season because I'm kind of running thin on that. If you want the Giants to re-sign Landon Collins, give me an LC in the chat or a big 2-1. Tripod coming in with a question. Marshall, do you think the Giants should hire Bill Belichick? Look, there's been a lot of smoke for quite some time that Bill Belichick is going to be the next head coach of the New York Giants. That Bill Belichick's dream job is the head coach of the New York Football Giants. What I would say is this. Who does John Mara believe in enough to, A, identify who the next great quarterback will be, and B, groom that next quarterback to be that guy? Because the only question that John Mara needs to ask himself is this. Is Brian Daboll the long-term head coach for the New York Giants? And are Joe Schoen the long-term general manager for the New York Giants? Or are they one bad season away? Because you're going to draft a quarterback in 2025. And I don't want that rookie quarterback entering his sophomore season with head coach number 2 and general manager number 2 and offensive coordinator number 2. You need stability. You need a village to raise a quarterback. It's already hard enough for these young QBs to succeed. Let's have some continuity. Whether that's Daboll, whether that's Bill Belichick, I'll let you decide in the comments. Pick a head coach, BD or Bill Belichick for BB. All that matters to me is that the coach you hire is the one that you best believe in to develop the quarterback. You can't have Brian Daboll standing on one leg next year, being one bad season away. What I'll say is this. He'll bring an identity to this team. He'll bring back New York Football Giants defense, and he would never, ever, ever allow a team to kick 7 field goals in a game and you lose because of that. He ain't losing that Commanders game. Not saying he's the right guy or not saying he's the wrong guy, but I just know he would bring some to this team that I think they lack a little bit right now. Eric, what's up, man? At what point do we blame ownership? Now, yesterday, after week 1, last season, 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago. I think that if the Giants lose on Sunday, it'll be the 4th time and it was either the 3rd or 4th time they're going to start 0-3 in the last 5 seasons. Look, it starts from the top down. That's what happens in these leagues. It's hard to overcome bad ownership. It is. John Mara deserves every piece of blame that you're going to point at Daboll and that you're going to point at John Mara because he signed off on both those hires. Aiden, what's up, man? $5 super chat. Thank you for the love. Which QB prospect would you rather the Giants draft this April? Quinn Ewers or Carson Beck? Keep up the good work. Best Giants news channel. You know what, Aiden? I appreciate you, man. I would rather take Quinn Ewers, and I'm a little bit biased because I got to cover Quinn Ewers in high school, and I know him personally. I know his 7-on-7 coaches from high school, and I've gotten to talk to him, and he's a good kid. And I feel like he has a lot of upside in this league. I worry about the injuries and things like that, but I would go with Quinn Ewers over Carson Beck. If I had to say in no order who are the top 5 guys I'm watching every single Saturday when college football is going on, I'm going Carson Beck, Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe, and Jackson Dart. These are my top 5 guys as we're about to get ready to enter week 3. Get ready to enter week 3. It's crazy. But yeah, every Saturday I'll be watching these guys and others. But right now, these are the 5 guys. And Smitty, he's a Miller Moss guy. We'll see what's up with that. Serene. Do you think we need an entire facelift? I wouldn't mind if we promoted Brandon Brown and see if we could get Clint Kubiak as head coach and Steve Wilkes as DC, 2 former Shanahan staff guys. Look, I'm going to go back to this, and you know what? I'm going to continue to give you this answer when I come to Brian Daboll. The only thing that matters if Brian Daboll should keep this job or not is if you believe that he can, A, identify the quarterback you need to draft, and B, develop that guy. If you don't think he could be the long-term head coach of the next rookie quarterback you draft, you fire him. If you think he can, you believe he can, you're willing to stick with it, then you do it. But I don't want a revolving door at the positions of power after you draft a quarterback this upcoming April. We'll talk more and answer more questions coming up in a second. But first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time. If you're looking for last-minute tickets to go see the Giants, do it with Game Time and use the promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. You get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. Prices drop as the events get closer. You get to see your seat view from in the app. You get to access your tickets from your phone. You get last-minute tickets and flash deals, views from the seats, lowest price guaranteed, and $20 off your first purchase when you use that promo code ChatSports. Terms do apply on that. Take care of these 2 features. All-in pricing. That way the price you see is the price you pay at checkout. And the Game Time Picks feature. It's brand new. It personalizes your feed to where it's that much easier to go see your favorite teams, your favorite bands, or your favorite comedians. Download the app. Use the promo code ChatSports, ChatSports, and use that promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. My man John Dottie in the building. What's up, Mr. Dottie? Says, how would you rank Daboll, Schoen, and Bowen in terms of keeping their jobs come March? I think they're all, I can't say a package deal because there's only 2 of them. They're all in this together. They are all in this together. If Brian Daboll has to fire another defensive coordinator and just his 3rd season has to get a new defensive coordinator going into year 4, a 3rd, that's a problem. Look, they're all together. They're all together. I really do believe that. Sean Carter. Is this the Sean Carter? Says, if we're going to check down, throw 70% of the time, why not activate Turbo Miller for screens and special teams? The reason I would say they're not going to activate Turbo Miller is because They paid Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary is a better player than Dante Turbo Miller. And they drafted Tyrone Tracy to do those things. They drafted Tyrone Tracy to be that receiving, playmaking back out of the backfield. Now, if one of those backs get hurt, I do think Turbo Miller will get that call. But he's just not – I think he's better than Eric Gray, but you've drafted Eric Gray. So that's kind of my thought on that. Kevin Rudolph, what's up, man? Marsh, how do we actually know why Jalin Hyatt doesn't get any targets or even get to see the field at all? Do we actually know why? No, we don't. And what I would say is Brian Daboll has hinted that he's one of the last guys on the wide receiver depth chart. He's behind Slayton. He's behind Neighbors. He's behind Robinson. I don't think that explains why Darius Slayton has 99 snaps through 2 weeks and Jalin Hyatt's at 27. I don't think there's a reason that Brian Daboll could tell me why that makes sense, but Brian Daboll makes a lot of head-scratching decisions, like going into a game week with a hurt kicker for the third time in 2 seasons. I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for you, Kevin. I'm still looking for that answer myself. Maybe he's in the doghouse. Maybe he slit. I don't know. Could be a lot of things. I do not know. Frank Gal, is there any way the Giants can have a winning season? Well, you can't go 15-2 unless you lose 2 times. So if you want to look glass half full, you can't win 15 games if you don't lose 2. Is there any way the Giants have a winning season? Yeah, their defense becomes one of the best in the National Football League. You continue to have good offensive line play. You run the ball like you did against Washington, and Daniel Jones plays the best football of his life. How likely is it that all of those things happen? I will let you decide that. Who do you got this Sunday? Who do you got? Type NYG for the Giants, CLE for the Cleveland, I almost said Cavaliers, Cleveland Browns. Let me know in the chat down below. And if you haven't yet, please give me a follow on social media. Trying to grow my presence on Twitter, almost at 10,000 followers. Shout out to all the real ones. Hit me up over here, and I'm posting more reels and more short-form content over here. So if that's your flavor, hit me up over there. And let's go, Big Blue! Shout out to my man Mike G, coming here with a $20 super chat. Marsh, now that I made you feel warm and fuzzy, hey, yo, give me a damn dream free agent target. Need you to dig here, and it's early, but need you here. You're talking about in the spring, like spring of 2025 free agent? Is that what you're asking for me, Mike G? Spring 2025 or right now? Luke Sargent says Giants winning by 3. I'm cool if we win by nothing. Just win. Just win. Top free agents for 2025. What about like a Charvarius Ward? Go out and get a legit corner to play him opposite side of Deontay Banks.
A legit boundary corner is what this team needs.
And then you have Deontay Banks going to CB2. That'd be awesome. Maybe probably another corner you could look at is Paulson Adebo. Javon Holland's out there if you want to add a safety of Jason Pinnock, who hasn't been that great this year. If you want a D-tackle, what about I don't know exactly how you say it, but he's a stud. Alam McNeil, the defensive tackle from the Detroit Lions. If you want to play greedy, what about T. Higgins? What if you want to steal the center from the Chiefs, Creed Humphrey, and you move John Michael Schmitz to guard?
Creed Humphrey signed an extension.
He signed an extension? I didn't say that. Maybe a veteran receiver, a little Mari Cooper.
That'd be nice.
Oso Digizua. What about Zach Martin? Leave the Cowboys, come play for the Giants to close your career?
That'd be nuts.
No,
not James Bradbury. Definitely not.
Yeah, those are some guys I'm looking at. Still really early.
Eric Cruz with a 5.
Eric Cruz down the sideline.
Cruz who breaks free. Down the sideline. 1 man to beat. Cruz, 99 yards, tying an NFL record. Shout out to Kenny, man.
Kenny, man, he's a goat. No disrespect to Robinson, but Marsh, imagine having the speed of neighbors Slayton and Hyatt in the 1, 2, 3 and having Robinson in the 4th. How about we just play the young guys and not the free agent that's going to leave at the end of the season? Like, I know that's kind of an NBA approach to it, but you're 0-2 with Darius Slayton. You didn't score a touchdown with him. Smitty, he's not good enough to be taking, if there's 99 plus 27, that means you're at what, 126 snaps between Slayton and
26.
You're telling me that of the 126 snaps to go to your outside wide receiver, Darius Slayton, is that much better than Hyatt and contributes that much more to winning?
I don't think so.
I don't think
He's
anyone.
literally getting 80%. Like, if you compile their snaps to 100%, Darius Slayton is getting 80% of them.
99 of 126.
It's 80%.
I don't know.
Eric Cruz said Smitty hit the salsa. One day, maybe when the Giants score a meaningful touchdown, I'll get in front of the camera and hit the salsa.
I don't know. That's just me, though. That's just me.
Kevin said earlier in the chat that he's seen a lot of praise for Drew Phillips, and he's maybe looking for a little bit of education on the man. He said he's seen a lot of mistakes out there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean.
Drew Phillips has been very physical, very aggressive. He's played downhill. Didn't play all that much week 1 because he was overcoming an Achilles injury. I want to see him out there more. He was my number 1 winner coming out of week 2. He's not afraid to put the hat on the ball. He's not afraid to come up and hit. He can come off the edge and blitz and bring pressure. I think he's like exactly what you want in a modern-day slot corner. Aggressive and sticky in coverage and not afraid to tackle. Because especially with Shane Bowen, which I said not once, not twice, but 500 million and a half times in the offseason. Shane Bowen wants to play with a lot of DBs on the field. I once again watched the All-22 last night of the Giants. I can't tell you how many times I saw more DBs on the field than D linemen. And if you're going to do that, you need your DBs to be able to stop the run. Deontay Banks wants no smoke in there.
No.
Joey Jackson wants no smoke in there. 22? He's damn near been your second best linebacker on your team when he's a slot corner. Yeah. All righty. Shout out to everybody in the building. Know it's a quick show, kind of unannounced, but I wanted to hop up here and talk some New York Football Giants. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Thought it was a good show from you guys. A lot of people tuned in. Over 4,000 people already. We peaked at like 600. It was dope stuff. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Hit your thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up icon on the way out. Hey, let's go, Big Blue.